So, Yirat HaShem, we're back in the Limud of Sefer Yirat HaShem. Today is the 28th of the month of Tishrei, Wednesday, the 4th day of the week of Rosh Hashanah Shabbat Noach, Bezrat Hashem. So the Rabbi continues, he says, Al Pi Akadom. What?
You said 20th of Tishrei?
28th.
Oh, 28,
yeah. Al Pi Akdamot Elu. So the Rabbi says, what we just prefaced, we brought down, we could now understand Yuvan Mashkatub Be'Hagar Shebarcha Misarai. We could understand that why Hagar ran away from Sarai. Shte pamim ayin ayin. Why does it say over there specifically 2 times well in the pasuk? Thank you. What's the reason? Ki Hagar hayala omnam shte istakliyot halalu. Hagar, she had this 2 particular ways of observance. Echad, one, romimoto itbarach kekatuv. אתה על רואי הגר, הגם הלום ראיתי. Oh. So she had the, I guess, התבוננות of Hashem, שהייתה רגילה לראות מלאכים, because she was also privy to see angels. So she had the understanding of Hashem. אבל לא הייתה מסתכלת בשרה בכבוד. But she was diminished in her own observance of Sarah was in a different, was without respect. So meaning, get it. So she was observing her right eye Hashem properly, right? On the left side, she was the left istakliyot with the left eye, where we're supposed to look at people with respect. She did not look at Sarah in that. כי הייתה בוזה אותה בליבה שאמרה, שרה זו אין תוכה כבורה ולכן היא עקרה. She would say to herself, the Sarah is not really fit to be a righteous person. Because if she was righteously like outside, her innards were actually not as her outer. As we know, the Gemara says that Rabban Gamliel, he used to have a shomer. He used to have an individual. If you want to go into Bet Midrash of Rabban Gamliel, you have to be the same as you appear. You can't look with like a holy rabbi and do unholy things. You have to be, if you're holy, holy. If you're unholy, no problem, we'll take you. But don't fake it. Rabban Gamliel, he had this kind of watchman by the door who could differentiate. So meaning anybody who was a faker, he would not accept. Okay? So the meaning even if the guy looks like a bum, but he's really holy, would not be able to go into the synagogue, into the Bet Midrash of Rabban Gamliel. He was very strict. He said a person has to be what he's appearing inside. And so Hagar made a conclusion because of her bad observance. She did not observe Sarah properly. She said, why doesn't Sarah have a child? Must be that her innard, she is a faker. And second, שהייתה מסתכלת בשפלות עצמה בהסכמת פרעה אביה, שאמרה מוטב להיות שבחה לשרה ולא גברת אצל אבי פרעה. And now, on the other end, what did she do? She also diminished herself in front of her, in her own mind. She was doubting herself. Why? Because what did Paro say? Paro said, it's better for me to have a daughter who will be a servant to a holy person like Sarah than to be a queen or princess in the Paro's house. ואומנם הסתכלות זו גם כן הייתה לקביעה. כי היא הסתכלה בשרה גברתה בצורה שפלה ולבסוף כנזכר למעלה. כי מי שהוא ענב באמת לא שולט בו עין הרע. So what happened was that even though that sounds like Hagar was a very modest individual, right? Because she said, wait a minute, I'm not fit to be, it's not preferably for me to be, what's his name, living like a princess, but better to serve Sarah. So in the end, what happened was that Rabbi says that because she was not really, it was impossible for if a person who is a really humble person and he thinks properly and he talks properly, he will not have any remorse or any misbehavior on the outside. So this is a barometer. If you think you're a holy person, if you think you are such a elevated individual, see how you look at others. And if your others, the Rabbi says it's something amazing. He says if your feeling of others is diminished, that means you have in yourself, your holiness is not real. And that's amazing. That's amazing. ולכן שרה הטילה בהגר עין הרע והפילה העוברה הראשון. So because of all this mess up in Hagar's mind and her observance of this world, on one side she was exalting HaShem. She understood what HaShem is because she got to the level of seeing angels daily. But on the other side, that she was actually playing Anava, she was, as we remember, we said already, posel bemumo posel. A person usually judges others in the same manner that he is, where his defaults are. So here, Hagar said, why doesn't Sarah get pregnant? Is because she is what? She is, her inner is different than her outer. She's not as holy as she seems. But in reality, that was the deficit of Hagar. She was acting like, yes, it's better. In reality, it's better for me to be in Sarah's house, right? To be a servant than to be a princess. Meaning showing a humbleness. But in reality, the humbleness is fake. It was a fake humbleness. Because now we see that she misjudged Sarah, and now that it caused her harm. Because Sarah was upset with her, the way that she was treated. Therefore, she caused the evil eye to fall on Hagar, and Hagar had a miscarriage. And now Sarah understood that her all inners. We're talking about Hagar. How many years she lived now already with Avraham Avinu? Zohar, you know? Zohar.
How many years Hagar lived?
Yeah. Remember, Avraham Avinu.
At least 14.
More than that. No, 1 second. No. Avraham Avinu is now 86. So, yeah. So, Avraham Avinu came to Paro at 75. So, 11 years. Okay, we're talking about 11 years. Sarah already lived.
Ishmael was 13.
No. That's when Avraham Avinu had a baby, Yitzchak. We're talking about when Avraham Avinu was 86, Ishmael was born. So now, for at least 10 to 11 years, Hagar is living with Avraham Avinu, with Sarah. You know what 10 years is?
Before Ishmael was born.
Right. Okay, so Hagar reached a lot of heights. She reached a very high level of understanding Hashem. But her behavior and her, more misbehavior or construing Sarah. Again, she said Sarah is inner different than outer, right? So it looks like she was inner different than the outer. ומזה הכיר הסתכלות של הגר לכמיהו, ובכדי לתקן אותה נאמר בה ותענה שרה ותברח מפניה. So now we could understand why did Sarah torture her, give her hard time. Why? Because you're living here for 11 years and you still didn't understand that you cannot judge people wrongfully. So now we're explaining, the Torah explaining, the Rabbi explaining was why Sarah was stressing. Again, don't forget, the Torah tells us that if a father hits his son and kills him, the father does not go to Galut, even though he did it by mistake. We know the rule is if a person kills somebody by mistake, he goes to Galut. But the father and a rabbi and a teacher hits the child while they're teaching them, and the father while training his son, and he kills him by mistake, does not go to Galut. Does not go to Galut. Why? Because that father and the rabbi are obligated to teach their students and their son, and therefore it's a allowance. Same thing here. Sarai Imenu, she was attacking Hagar. She was her student. She was her teacher, an apprentice, and therefore the Torah also says that our teacher should not beat around the bush. You cannot be talking lashon sagina hor, like hinting for a student to do tshuva. Sometimes the Rebbe has to be point blank. Tell the person what he's doing wrong in order for him to correct. Otherwise, if he doesn't, it will not work. So here, now we could maybe understand. And it says, moreover, the rabbi says, "V'ta'anea." What does that mean, v'ta'anea? And she caused their suffering. Otiyot tohu ain. Tohu ain. The words of the word ta'anea, vav tav ain nun yud hey could be split, and it actually it spells a different word. Tohu ain. Your eyes are bad. The haino is taklut l'kiviyah. She says you're wrongfully looking at the individuals. וזהו שכתוב וימצא מלאך השם על העין המים במדבר על העין בדרך שור. The word ain, how we spell a well, it's ain yud nun, and it's also happens to be ain, the eye, ain yud nun. So therefore it's telling that now we can understand, maybe the rabbi tells us that why does it say twice the word ain, a well, a well. והמלאך לאחיך על בית הסתכלויות שיש לה שהן שתיהן לקוויית. So even though it sounds like Sarah told her she was trying to fix her eyesight to Hagar, and Hagar ran away. She did not want to fix her eyesight, and came Malach, and he told her, you have to fix your eyesight. כי תיבת במדבר רומזת על הטעות כאדם הטועה במדבר. And why does it specifically have to be in a desert? Why didn't you go to a forest? Why desert? במדבר, to teach you here that Hagar escaped to a desert, like she was already explaining herself that she is a lost person. Like in a desert, most people in the desert are lost because it's very, very hard to come out of there. So the angel appears to her in the desert, telling her by the well also twice to teach her, fix your eyesight and get out of being lost. Okay, well, here we're going to pause. Baruch Adonai Olam, amen, amen. Bezat Hashem will continue tomorrow, and hopefully 8:45 will continue in the Hot Shabbat. I'll call you, 8:45, 8:50. Okay? Call to.